The massive council chamber on Nexus Prime hummed with the voices of a dozen different alien species. Commander Vextar stood at the center podium, his scaled green skin gleaming under the bright lights. His yellow eyes swept across the assembled delegates as he activated the holographic display. "Fellow council members," Vextar said in his deep, rumbling voice, "we face a problem that grows larger each day, the humans of Earth." Murmurs filled the chamber. Dr. Kyla Nesh, her blue aquatic form floating in a specially designed water tank, clicked her approval. The Saurian commander speaks truth. Human technology advances at an alarming rate. Captain Junho Kim sat quietly in the human delegation section. His dark eyes watched every face around the room, but his expression remained calm and friendly. He wore the simple blue uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps, nothing fancy or threatening. Vextar touched a control, and the hologram changed to show Earth from space. The blue planet looked peaceful and beautiful, with white clouds swirling over green and brown continents. "Look at this world," Vextar continued. "Our scouts have studied it for months. They report no orbital defense platforms, no space stations with weapons, no military fleets patrolling their system." The display zoomed in to show Earth's surface. Cities sprawled across the continents, but they looked like any civilian settlement. Parks and buildings, roads and rivers, but no obvious military bases or weapon factories. "Their space program is primitive," added Dr. Nesh. "A few small research stations, some mining operations on their moon and Mars. Nothing that could threaten even our smallest warships." Captain Kim made a small note on his tablet. To anyone watching, it looked like he was simply recording the meeting details. In reality, he was sending quantum-encrypted signals through his neural implants directly back to Earth. Every word spoken in this chamber was being transmitted instantly across the galaxy. A delegate from the insectoid Thex Empire stood up. His 4 arms clicked together as he spoke. "The humans have made contact with 17 different species in the past 50 years. Each time they ask for trade agreements and cultural exchanges, they never demand territory or resources." "Exactly my point," Vextar said, his tail swishing behind him. "They are weak, peaceful to the point of foolishness. They sit on one of the richest worlds in this sector, and they do nothing to protect it." The hologram showed Earth's continents in detail. Vast forests, deep oceans, mountain ranges rich with minerals, fertile farmland stretched across entire regions. It was clear why so many species wanted access to Earth's resources. "Their military is laughable," Vextar continued. "Ground-based, armies with simple projectile weapons. A few aircraft that barely reach their upper atmosphere. Ships that take months to travel between their own planets." Dr. Nesh clicked her agreement again. "My scientific teams have analyzed their technology. They are perhaps 200 years behind the galactic standard. Their computers are crude. Their energy sources are inefficient. Their materials science is primitive." Captain Kim kept his face neutral, but inside he almost smiled. If only they knew the truth about Earth's real capabilities, the quantum computers hidden in subspace, the zero-point energy reactors that powered entire continents, the metamaterials that existed in 17 different dimensions at once. "So what do you propose, Commander?" asked the Thex delegate. Vextar's yellow eyes gleamed. "Simple. We remove the humans before they become a problem. A quick strike while they are defenseless. We divide their world among the council members. Everyone benefits." The chamber erupted in discussion. Some delegates nodded enthusiastically. Others looked uncertain. A few seemed shocked by the suggestion. The humans have committed no crimes against the Council, protested a delegate from the Peaceful Harmony Collective. They have honored every trade agreement. They have shared their art, music, and literature freely. Which proves how naive they are, Vextar replied. In this galaxy, the strong survive and the weak are consumed. The humans refuse to understand this basic truth. They think friendship and cooperation will protect them. Dr. Nesh raised one of her tentacled arms. I must admit their behavior is puzzling from a survival standpoint. Most species develop strong defenses before making contact with galactic civilization. The humans did the opposite. They sent out peaceful messages and invited everyone to visit their world. Because they are fools, Vextar said firmly. They have no concept of real warfare, no understanding of galactic politics. They think the universe is as peaceful as their little planet. Captain Kim made another note. His implants were not just recording the conversation, but also scanning every delegate in the room. Biological readings, stress patterns, micro-expressions that revealed true intentions. All of this data was flowing back to Earth's intelligence networks. The Thex delegate stood again. Even if we agreed to this action, how would we divide Earth's resources? The planet is vast, and many species would want a share. I have prepared a proposal, Vextar said. He activated new sections of the holographic display, showing Earth divided into colored regions. The Saurian Empire would take the largest continent, as we are providing the military force for this operation. The Delphinian League would control the oceans. The Thex Empire would manage the mining operations. More arguments broke out as other delegates demanded their shares. Captain Kim watched it all with fascination. These species were already fighting over Earth's corpse, and they had not even decided to attack yet. There is another consideration, Dr. Nesh said when the arguing died down. The humans have many allies among the peaceful species, the Harmony Collective, the Wisdom Seekers, the Garden Tenders. They would not approve of an unprovoked attack. The peaceful species have no military power, Vextar replied dismissively. They cannot stop us, and they will not risk their own worlds to save the humans. A new voice spoke from the back of the chamber. What if you are wrong about human capabilities? Everyone turned to see who had spoken. It was an elderly delegate from the Oracle Guild, a species known for their long-term thinking and careful analysis. Vextar laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the chamber. Wrong. Our scouts have been studying them for months. We have complete intelligence on their military capabilities, which are essentially non-existent. Sometimes, the Oracle said slowly, the most dangerous predator is the one that appears harmless. Philosophical nonsense, Vextar snorted. The humans are exactly what they appear to be, a young, naive species that stumbled into galactic contact before they were ready. They have no defenses because they have never needed defenses. The debate continued for hours. Captain Kim sat through all of it, maintaining his diplomatic smile while his implants recorded everything. Finally, the council called for a vote. All in favor of authorizing a reconnaissance mission to confirm Earth's defensive capabilities? Hands, claws, tentacles, and other appendages rose around the chamber. The vote was overwhelmingly in favor. The motion passes, announced the council chairman. Commander Vextar, you will lead a fleet to the Sol system, assess human defenses, and report back to this council. Vextar bowed his massive head. I will depart immediately. Within 1 galactic month, we will know everything about Earth's military capabilities. As the council session ended and delegates began filing out, Captain Kim finally allowed himself a small smile. He made one final transmission through his neural implants. The message was brief and simple. They are coming. 200 ships. Protocol 7 is authorized. On Earth, Admiral Hyun-woo Park received the message in his deep underground command center. He immediately activated communication channels that had been hidden for over a century. All stations, this is command. The test begins now. Prepare for full revelation. Across the galaxy, humanity's true military might begin to stir from its long concealment. Commander Vextar stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the stars streak past as his fleet moved through hyperspace. 200 warships followed behind him, the largest military force the Saurian Empire had assembled in decades. Each ship carried enough firepower to destroy a small moon. "How long until we reach the Sol system?" Vextar asked his navigation officer. 18 hours, Commander," came the reply. "The humans will never know what hit them." Vextar smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. The fleet had left Nexus Prime 3 days ago, and so far everything had gone perfectly. No human ships had detected them. No warning signals had been sent ahead. Earth remained completely unaware of the approaching danger. Meanwhile, deep beneath the mountains of South Korea, Fleet Admiral Dae-Yun Lee walked through corridors that officially did not exist. The Terran Defense Command Center was buried 5 kilometers underground, protected by shields that could stop planet-killing weapons. The facility was so secret that most Earth governments did not know about it. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Bo-Ra, Yoon from her monitoring station. "The alien fleet just dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of our sensor grid." Admiral Lee nodded calmly. "How many ships?" 200, exactly as Captain Kim reported. "All Saurian design with standard weapons and shields? And they still cannot see our real sensors?" "Negative, Admiral. Our dark matter detection grid is completely invisible to their technology. They think they are sneaking up on us, but we have been tracking them since they left Nexus Prime." Admiral Lee smiled. "Excellent. Dr. Choi, are our hidden fleets ready?" Dr. Tae-Hyun Choi looked up from his quantum computer terminal. "All ships are in position, Admiral. The lunar fleet is hidden in subspace. The Mars Defense Group is in quantum superposition. The asteroid belt stations are phase-shifted out of normal reality. And the planetary defense grid? Fully charged and waiting. The aliens will get quite a surprise when they realize our moon is not really a moon." 3 light-years away, Commander Vextar was studying the readings from his long-range scanners. "Anything unusual about this system?" he asked Dr. Kyla Nesh, who had joined the expedition as science advisor. "Nothing unexpected," she replied, floating in her tank on the bridge. 1 star, 8 planets, the usual collection of asteroids and comets. The 3rd planet shows heavy biological activity and primitive radio signals. No defense satellites? None. That we can detect. No weapon platforms. No military bases on the outer planets. No patrol ships. The system appears completely undefended. Vextar felt a surge of satisfaction. The Council was right. These humans are completely unprepared for galactic warfare. On Earth, General Wu Jin Nam was coordinating with defense stations that existed in parallel dimensions. His holographic display showed the true extent of Earth's military power, hidden from normal space by technology the aliens could not even imagine. "Status report," he ordered. "Luna Base is ready," reported a technician. 3,000 heavy. Cruisers are standing by in dimensional storage. Mars Command reports all systems green. The defense grid is fully operational. Asteroid belt stations confirm readiness. All weapon platforms are charged and targeting solutions are locked. General Nam nodded. And our mobile fleets? The Soul's Fury battle group is positioned behind the moon in folded space. Captain So Young Huang reports all ships ready for immediate deployment. The Busan Strike Force is hiding inside Jupiter's radiation belt, completely invisible to alien sensors. The Incheon Defense Squadron is distributed throughout the asteroid belt, each ship disguised as a simple rock. Admiral Lee joined General Nam at the command center. How long before they arrive? 15 hours, General Nam replied. Their approach vector will bring them past Mars first, then straight toward Earth. Perfect. That will give us time to position everything exactly where we want it. Back on the alien flagship, Commander Vextar was growing more confident by the hour. His fleet had entered the outer solar system without any response from Earth. No challenge signals, no warning messages, no defensive actions of any kind. They truly are as primitive as our reports indicated, he told Dr. Nesh. Look at these energy readings from their planet. Simple nuclear power, basic fusion reactors, nothing more advanced than what most species develop within their first 1,000 years. Dr. Nesh studied her instruments carefully. I am detecting some unusual quantum fluctuations around the third planet, but they appear to be natural phenomena, perhaps caused by their magnetic field interacting with solar radiation. Nothing to worry about then? I do not believe so, although the fluctuations are stronger than I would expect for a natural occurrence. Engineer Dong Hyuk Lim was making final adjustments to Earth's dimensional defense grid from his control room, hidden inside what appeared to be a simple communications satellite. His fingers moved across holographic controls that manipulated space and time itself. All grid nodes are synchronized, he reported to Admiral Lee. When we activate the system, every hidden asset will become visible simultaneously. How many ships will they see? Approximately 50,000 combat vessels, Admiral. Plus the planetary defense stations, the weaponized asteroids, and the converted moon. And our technological advantage? Conservative estimate puts us about 500 years ahead of them in weapons technology, and 1,000 years ahead in defensive systems. On the alien flagship, the crew was preparing for what they expected to be an easy victory. Weapon systems were charged, targeting computers were calibrated, and boarding parties were assembled. Commander Vextar walked among his soldiers, giving final instructions. Remember, he told them, we want to capture their infrastructure intact. Destroy their military capabilities, but preserve their cities and industrial centers. The Council wants this planet productive, not a burned wasteland. The soldiers nodded eagerly. Most had never fought humans before, but they had studied the intelligence reports. Humans were described as physically weak, technologically primitive, and completely inexperienced in galactic warfare. How long do you estimate the battle will take, Commander? Asked one of his officers. Battle? Vextar laughed. This will not be a battle. It will be a demonstration. I expect complete human surrender within 6 hours of our arrival. Lieutenant Bo-Ra Yoon watched the alien fleet approach on her monitors, tracking every ship with sensors they could not detect. Admiral, they are now passing Mars orbit. Estimated. Time to Earth orbit is 4 hours. Admiral Lee activated the fleet-wide communication system. All stations, this is command. Protocol 7 is now in effect. Prepare for full revelation on my signal. Across the solar system, thousands of hidden human warships received the message. Captains who had waited years for this moment began final battle preparations. Weapons that existed in 17 dimensions were brought online. Shields that could stop time itself were activated. Dr. Tae-hyun Choi made one final check of his systems. Admiral, all hidden assets report ready. We can reveal our true strength at any moment. Excellent. Let them get close enough to see Earth clearly. I want them to feel completely confident before we show them the truth. The alien fleet continued its approach, completely unaware that they were flying into the most sophisticated trap in galactic history. In just a few hours, they would discover why no one had ever successfully attacked the seemingly defenseless world called Earth. Commander Vextar stood on his bridge, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. The blue planet looked peaceful and defenseless, exactly as his scouts had reported. Cities sparkled like jewels across the continents, and small orbital stations drifted in lazy circles around the world. "Begin final approach," he ordered. "All ships, prepare for orbital bombardment." 200 Saurian warships moved into position around Earth, their weapons powered up with deadly purpose. Each ship carried enough firepower to level mountains and boil oceans. "Target their major population centers," Vexistar commanded. "We will give them one chance to surrender before we demonstrate our power." Dr. Kyla Nesh floated in her tank, studying the readings from Earth's surface. "I still detect those unusual quantum fluctuations, Commander. They are growing stronger as we approach." "Probably interference from their primitive electronics," Vextar replied dismissively. "Nothing that could threaten us." 5 kilometers beneath Korea's mountains, Admiral Da-Yun Lee watched the alien fleet position itself around her planet. Her calm expression never changed, even though 200 enemy warships were preparing to attack her home. "All stations. Report ready, Admiral," announced General Woo Jin Nam. "Excellent. Open a channel to the alien fleet." On the Saurian flagship, Communications officer looked up in surprise. "Commander, we are receiving a transmission from Earth." "Put it on screen," Vextar ordered. The holographic display shimmered, and Admiral Lee's face appeared. She wore the simple uniform of Earth's military, but her eyes held a confidence that made Vextar uneasy. "Greetings, Commander Vextar," she said in perfect Saurian language. "I am Fleet Admiral Da-Yun Lee of the Terran Defense Force. You have entered our space with hostile intent." Vextar recovered from his surprise quickly. "Your Terran Defense Force is a joke, human. You have no warships, no weapons that could threaten us. Surrender now, and we might allow some of your people to live." Admiral Lee smiled. "You believe we are defenseless?" "I know you are defenseless. My scouts have studied your pathetic civilization for months." "Then you have much to learn about humanity," Admiral Lee replied. "Let me give you an education." She made a simple gesture to someone off-screen, then looked directly at Vextar. "Show them what we really are." The space around Earth suddenly exploded with light. Thousands of massive warships materialized from nothing, appearing in perfect formation around the alien fleet. Ships that dwarfed the largest Saurian vessels emerged from subspace, their hulls gleaming with unknown metals and pulsing with impossible energies. Commander Vextar's mouth fell open in shock. "Where did they come from?" Behind his flagship, a ship the size of a small moon emerged from folded space. Captain So Young Hwang's dreadnought Soul's Fury bristled with weapon systems that operated on principles the aliens had never seen. "All ships, this is Captain Hwang," her voice echoed across every channel. "Welcome to Earth space. You are now completely surrounded." Dr. Kyla Nesh stared at her instruments in disbelief. "Commander, my scanners show over 50,000 human vessels. Their technology readings are off the charts." "Impossible," Vextar growled. Our intelligence was perfect. Earth had no defenses. On Admiral Lee's screen, her smile grew wider. Your intelligence was exactly what we wanted you to see. Every scan, every report, every piece of data your spies collected was carefully prepared by our people. The asteroid belt suddenly came alive with activity. Hundreds of rocky objects transformed before the aliens' eyes, revealing massive weapon platforms and military bases. What had looked like simple space rocks were actually some of the most advanced fortifications in the galaxy. The moon, Doctor, Nesh whispered in horror as her scanners penetrated the lunar surface. It is hollow. The entire moon is a battle station. Engineer Dong-Hyuk Lim activated the planetary defense grid from his hidden control room. Earth's moon split open like a flower, revealing weapon systems that could crack planets in half. Energy readings spiked beyond anything the alien sensors could measure. Your moon is not a moon, Admiral Lee explained calmly. It is our primary defensive platform. We built it over 300 years ago. Sergeant Min-ho Kang led his Special Forces team onto the alien flagship using phase shift technology. They materialized directly on the bridge, bypassing all shields and armor. Their advanced suits made them look like armored ghosts. "Security alert!" shouted a Saurian officer, but his weapons passed harmlessly through the human soldiers. "Do not be alarmed," Sergeant Kang said politely. "We are here to ensure your communications equipment functions properly." Vextar tried to send an emergency message to the Galactic Council, but found that his communications had been completely hijacked. Every transmission was being routed through Earth's quantum network. "How long have you been watching us?" he demanded. Admiral Lee's expression became serious. "We have been aware of galactic civilization for over 2 centuries, Commander. We chose to appear primitive as a test." A test? We wanted to see which species would try to be our friends and which would try to conquer us when they thought we were weak. Captain So Young Hwang's massive dreadnought moved closer to the alien flagship. Its weapon systems powered up with an energy signature that made the Saurian shields flicker and fail. "Your weapons cannot penetrate our defenses," Admiral Lee continued. "Our shields exist in 17 different dimensions. Our weapons manipulate space and time itself. Your technology is approximately 500 years behind ours." Dr. Kyla Nesh checked her readings again and again, hoping they were wrong. "Commander, their energy output is impossible. According to my instruments, that single dreadnought has more firepower than our entire fleet." "And it is just one ship," Admiral Lee noted. "We have thousands more just like it, hidden throughout the galaxy." The alien fleet found itself completely helpless. Human ships surrounded them at every angle, their technology so advanced that the Saurian weapons might as well have been throwing rocks. "You lied to us," Vextar accused. "We never lied," Admiral Lee replied. "We simply did not reveal our true capabilities. There is a difference." "Why? Why hide your strength?" Admiral Lee's expression grew sad. "Because we learned long ago that showing our full power frightens people. We prefer to reveal it only when necessary, to those who force our hand." Sergeant Kang finished installing quantum transmitters throughout the alien flagship. "Communications are secure, Admiral. All alien transmissions are now under our control." "Thank you, Sergeant." Vextar realized the full scope of his mistake. His fleet was trapped, outgunned, and completely at the mercy of a species he had underestimated by centuries. "What happens now?" he asked quietly. Admiral Lee studied him for a long moment. "Now, Commander, you have a choice to make. Commander Vextar stared at Admiral Lee's image on his screen, his mind struggling to understand what had happened. His entire fleet was surrounded by human warships that appeared from nowhere. Everything he thought he knew about Earth was wrong. What? Choice? He asked, his voice much quieter than before. Admiral Lee leaned forward in her chair. You can return to your people and tell them the truth about Earth, or you can remain here as prisoners until this situation is resolved peacefully. There is no shame in either choice, added Captain So Young Huang from her massive dreadnought. But you must choose quickly. Dr. Kyla Nesh floated in her tank, studying the impossible readings on her instruments. Commander, how did we miss all of this? Their technology is beyond anything we imagined possible. Director He-Jin Song appeared on another communication channel, her face serious but not unkind. Dr. Nesh, your people missed it because we wanted you to miss it. We have been very careful to hide our true capabilities. But why? Dr. Nesh asked. Why pretend to be primitive when you possess such advanced technology? Colonel Sung Won. Oh joined the conversation from his military history, centered deep within Earth's crust. Because we learned something important about galactic civilization, Doctor. We learned that most species cannot be trusted with knowledge of superior technology. Vextar felt anger rising in his chest. You made us look like fools. No, Admiral, Lee replied calmly. You made yourselves look like fools when you decided to attack a world you thought was defenseless. Dr. Yu-Jin An activated one of Earth's quantum warfare systems, causing the alien fleet's weapons to temporarily shut down without any damage to their ships. This is just a small demonstration, she explained. We could disable your entire fleet permanently if we chose to. The question is not what we can do to you, Admiral Lee continued. The question is what you will do with the knowledge you now possess. Vextar looked around his bridge at his frightened crew. They had come, here expecting an easy victory over primitive humans. Instead, they had discovered a civilization so advanced that their own technology seemed like children's toys. How long have you been able to do this? He asked. Colonel O pulled up historical records on his display. Our hidden space program began over 400 years ago. We have been watching galactic civilization since before most of your current governments existed. You have been spying on us? We have been protecting ourselves, corrected Director Song, and protecting others. She activated a new display showing dozens of star systems. These are worlds that aggressive species tried to conquer in the past. Century. Notice anything unusual about the results? Vextar studied the data. Every attempted conquest had failed mysteriously. Aggressive fleets had simply vanished or retreated without explanation. That was you? Sometimes, Admiral Lee admitted. When we detected species attacking defenseless worlds, we intervened. Quietly, invisibly. The aggressors never knew what stopped them. Dr. Nesh realized the implications. You have been secretly policing the galaxy. We prefer the term protecting the innocent, said Colonel O. We learned early that most galactic species fall into two categories. Those who seek to build and create, and those who seek to conquer and destroy. Captain Huang's voice carried a note of sadness. Unfortunately, the second group is much more common than we hoped. But not universal, added Admiral Lee. Some species, like the Harmony Collective and the Wisdom Seekers, approached us with genuine offers of friendship. They wanted to learn from us, not conquer us. And what happened to them? Vextar asked. They became our allies. We shared some of our technology with them. Their worlds are now under our protection. Dr. Eugene Ahn brought up another display showing advanced spacecraft, with mixed human and alien designs. Cooperative technology development has benefited everyone involved. Vextar began to understand the scope of what he was learning. How many species know the truth about Earth? 17 have earned our trust, Director Song replied. They know our real capabilities and work with us to maintain peace in their regions of space. And the others? The others see what you saw until today. A primitive, defenseless world that poses no threat to anyone. Dr. Nesh studied her instruments again, trying to understand how human technology worked. Your quantum signatures are unlike anything in our databases. How did you develop such advanced systems? Colonel O smiled. We had excellent teachers. Some of the peaceful species we befriended possessed knowledge that we lacked. In exchange for our protection, they shared their scientific discoveries with us, and we improved on them, added Dr. Ahn. Human ingenuity combined with alien knowledge created something greater than either could achieve alone. Vexatar felt a growing realization of how badly his people had misjudged the situation. The Galactic Council has no idea, does it? The Council knows only what we choose to tell them, Admiral Lee confirmed. Through representatives like Captain Kim, we monitor Council activities and gather intelligence on potential threats. You mean Captain Kim is actually a spy? Captain Kim is exactly what he appears to be, Director Song explained. A diplomatic representative of Earth. The fact that he also gathers intelligence is simply good sense. How many others like him do you have throughout the galaxy? Admiral Lee smiled mysteriously. Enough. The weight of the deception began to settle on Vexatar's shoulders. Our entire understanding of galactic politics is wrong. Not wrong, Colonel. O corrected. Incomplete. You see only the surface layer of what really happens in this galaxy. Dr. Nesh asked the question that was troubling her most. What will you do with us now that we know the truth? Admiral Lee became serious again. That depends on what you do with the knowledge. If you return to your people and encourage peaceful contact with Earth, you will find us generous allies. And if we do not? Captain Huang's massive ship moved. Closer, its weapon still powered but not targeting the aliens. Then you will discover that our patience has limits. Vextar looked at his crew, then back at Admiral Lee. You would destroy our entire civilization? We would prefer not to, Admiral Lee replied honestly. But we will protect innocent species from aggression, even if that means stopping the aggressors permanently. The bridge fell silent as everyone absorbed the implications. Earth possessed the power to enforce peace throughout the galaxy, and they had been doing so secretly for centuries. Commander, Dr. Nesh said quietly, I think we need to seriously reconsider our approach to galactic relations. Vexatar nodded, slowly. Everything he thought he knew about power, about survival, about the nature of the galaxy itself, had been turned upside down in a single day. Admiral Lee, he said finally, I believe it is time for me to learn what real strength means. 6 months after the failed attack on Earth, Commander Vexatar stood once again in the Galactic Council chambers on Nexus Prime. But this time everything was different. He wore simple robes instead of military armor, and his yellow eyes held wisdom where once there had been only ambition. Fellow council members, he began, his voice carrying none of its former arrogance. I have returned from the Sol system with information that will change how we view the galaxy forever. The assembled delegates listened in shocked silence as Vextar told them the truth about Earth's capabilities. He described the massive fleets that appeared from nowhere, the technology that operated beyond their understanding, and the humans who had been secretly protecting peaceful species for centuries. Dr. Kyla Nesh floated beside him, supporting every word with her scientific data. The quantum signatures alone prove that human technology is at least 500 years beyond our current level, she explained. Their weapons exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. When Vextar finished his report, the council chamber erupted in chaos. Some delegates refused to believe the story, others demanded immediate military action against Earth. A few wise voices called for peaceful contact. That was when the chamber doors opened, and Ambassador Sunmi Bayek walked in. She moved with quiet confidence, wearing the simple blue uniform of Earth's diplomatic service. Behind her came an honor guard of human soldiers, their advanced armor gleaming with unknown materials. "Honored delegates," Ambassador Bayek said in perfect galactic standard language, "I bring greetings from the people of Earth." The chamber fell, silent. Every delegate stared at the human ambassador, knowing that she represented a power greater than anything they had imagined. "We come not as conquerors," she continued, "but as protectors. For too long, this galaxy has been ruled by fear and aggression. Today, that changes." Admiral Ki-Tai Ryu materialized on the chamber's main display, broadcasting from his flagship in orbit above Nexus Prime. "This is Admiral Ryu of the Terran Peace Fleet. Our ships are positioned throughout this system not as a threat, but as a promise." Through the chamber's windows, delegates could see human warships appearing in the space around the station. Vessels of impossible size and beauty, their hulls flowing with energy patterns that hurt to look at directly. "We offer you a choice," Ambassador Bayek announced. "Join us in creating a galaxy where the strong protect the weak, where knowledge is shared freely, and where peace is maintained through justice rather than fear." Dr. Haiwan Zheng appeared on another communication channel from her laboratory on Earth. "We are prepared to share our technology with species that prove they will use it responsibly. Medical advances that could extend your lifespans by thousands of years. Energy systems that could power your worlds for eternity. But," Admiral Ryu added firmly, "we will not tolerate aggression against innocent species. Those who choose conquest over cooperation will find themselves facing the full might of Earth's protection." The Thex delegate raised his forearms nervously. "What guarantees do we have that you will not use this power against us?" Ambassador Bayek smiled gently. "The same guarantee we have given to 17 other species over the past 4 centuries. Our actions speak louder than our words." She activated a holographic display showing dozens of star systems. These worlds were under threat from aggressive neighbors. We intervened quietly, stopping the attacks without revealing ourselves. The aggressors never knew what happened. The victims never knew they were saved. "Until now," Dr. Jung added. "We have decided that secret protection is no longer enough. The galaxy needs open guardians." Vextar stood up slowly. "I have seen Earth's power firsthand. I can confirm that they could have destroyed my entire fleet without effort. Instead, they chose to educate us." Dr. Nesh clicked her agreement. "Their technology could have conquered the galaxy centuries ago. The fact that they chose patience and secrecy proves their peaceful intentions." One by one, delegates began to speak. The Harmony Collective welcomed Earth's open protection. The Wisdom Seekers offered to share their scientific knowledge. Even some of the more aggressive species expressed interest in peaceful cooperation. But not all were convinced. The delegate from the Crimson Empire stood up angrily. "We will not bow to human threats, no matter how advanced their technology." Ambassador Bayek nodded sadly. "That is your choice. But know that any aggression against peaceful worlds will be met with appropriate response." Admiral Ryu's voice carried a note of finality. "The Terran Peace Fleet now operates openly throughout the galaxy. We will protect the innocent, defend the weak, and ensure that justice prevails." 2 years later, Captain Jun-Ho Kim sat in his new office as Earth's senior diplomatic representative to the Galactic Council. Through his window, he could see human and alien ships working together in the shipyards around Nexus Prime. Dr. Kyla Nesh had become the first alien student at Earth's Advanced Sciences Institute, learning technologies that would help her people explore the deepest mysteries of the universe. Vextar now served as an advisor to the Terran Peace Corps, using his military experience to help former enemies find paths to cooperation. The galaxy had indeed changed. Trade flourished under Earth's protection. Scientific discoveries were shared freely among allied species. Wars of conquest became impossible when would-be aggressors knew they would face humanity's overwhelming response. Not everyone was happy with the new order. Some species resented human authority, even though it was used only to prevent aggression. A few tried to develop weapons that could challenge Earth's technology, but their efforts were quietly monitored and peacefully redirected. Kim smiled as he watched a group of young aliens and humans working together on a new starship design. This was what Earth had always envisioned. Not conquest, but cooperation. Not domination, but protection. His communication system chimed with an incoming message. A new species had just achieved faster-than-light travel and was approaching Earth for first contact. Like so many before them, they probably thought they were discovering a primitive, defenseless world. Kim activated his response system, preparing the same choice Earth always offered to newcomers: come in peace, and find friendship, knowledge, and protection. Come with hostile intent, and discover why no one successfully attacks the seemingly unguarded world called Earth. The galaxy was finally learning what humanity had always known: true strength comes not from the power to destroy, but from the wisdom to protect.